Okay, let's, are we filming now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's get right into it. Okay, we're gonna do the peek out here. So, one quick demonstration to start. All right, so continuing with turtle, we're using some wrestling, stealing all this from Eduardo Tellez, but we're stealing, I'm sure he stole this from some wrestling. We're gonna do a little peek out from this turtle position. Not necessarily the move you'd wanna go for right from the jump when you're in turtle guard, but things do open up a lot when you get really good at sort of the maki-komi roll, as well as the step over, which we'll get up on YouTube later. But we're gonna hit this peek out and talk about a couple of different sort of scenarios, and then how we can progress into the Turtleplata. So I'm in this bottom turtle position. As always, I want my elbows and knees contracted, whether my elbows are on the inside or the outside. Doesn't really matter, it's all a matter of preference. But for this particular move, I do need the hands disconnected. So if Trey starts to make connections on my collars, attack clock chokes, things like that, I'm gonna have to look for some different options, and we'll talk about that next week. But if I can defend and make it so that Trey's hands are still disconnected, I have an opportunity at this peek out. So what I'm gonna do here is my forehead goes to the mat. I don't want my forearm on the mat. That was actually something I saw a lot during practice today, because I'm at the limitation of my shoulder rotation mobility. So instead, I put my forehead on the mat, I get into a front bridge, and I'm gonna trap the wrist. The wrist trap isn't totally necessary, but I do like this because it comes up, I can hit my Turtleplata or a hammer lock once I come to the top position. But I'm gonna rise onto my toes, and I'm gonna shuffle until I feel like I see a little bit of space right out the side here. This is my peek out, very similar in wrestling. And once I get here, my ear goes to the shoulder, and I'm just gonna start to reach for that far side hip and climb, and then I get to the top position. Now, personally, I do typically let go of that arm when I come up, but you can keep it and kind of go into a hammer lock or a cop lock position from there. So one more time. We're in this bottom position. Again, initially, I'm making sure that no connections are being made. I'm fighting these hands off. And then when I feel the opportunity, maybe I go for a maki-komi initially and it doesn't quite work. I put my forehead back down to the mat. I shift and turn, and here's the back exposure. My arm goes up, making sure that Trey doesn't jump over top of me. If he just rises and walks over top of me, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I come up, I grab the far side hip, and then I cover his hips so that I make sure I come up into the top position. Some other things you can go into, if they start to drop to a hip, you can pull some guards, but we're just gonna focus on the reversal here, going from bottom to top. So peek out from referee's position, turtle guard.